missions, we'd like to share those journeys, of our vets and our captains with folks. We think it's really important, and so we decided to do that. And so, all right, so my stuff is starting to come up.
Yeah.
All right.
It looks like we hit the live a few seconds a little late then.
Oh
But
well,
we're in there. We're in there.
it is what it is. Oh, all right. So that's what the show is all about, is sharing that journey. And so a couple of months ago, Charlie was telling me about a movie. We were talking and about mending the line. It's called Mending the Line. And all right, so let me see here. I'm slowly coming up. I'll end up dropping off on my phone and coming up on my computer. But so we started talking about, and he was telling me about it, and I'm like, all right, that sounds cool. But with things being so busy, I didn't bother. And so just, I guess it was about a week ago, he sent it out, and I shared it amongst the group. All right. It's all right. It looks like I'm entering the studio. All right. So, all right, guys, I'm going to drop off just for a sec so I can come back on the computer. So I will be right back. Charlie, go ahead and talk a little bit about the
You
movie,
got it, brother.
and I'll be right back.
You got it. All right. So we've been having a little bit of a technical difficulties, but we really appreciate you guys being here. And Rich will be right back in just a second here. Let's see here. We got Ripping Lips Fishing. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Oh, there we go. There's Rich back. We got you back, my brother.
Could you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Right on, right on. So, yeah. So, all right. Hey, what's up, brother? What's going on, man? So, before I dropped off, from the phone, we were talking about this, and I gotta tell you, and my wife, she wants nothing to do with fishing, and that's a sad thing. Every time I come out with me, and come on out, and you know, just sit and relax. Let me do the fishing. And she says, honey, that's not my thing. So I'm like, okay, okay, okay. So, so I told her, I said, listen, I really want to watch a movie tonight. It's called Mending the Line. We are, hey, I can't see the Facebook users, but whoever that is, who said, hey guys, hope you're all are doing good. Thank you. I believe we are. We're not pushing up daisies, and the good Lord's got us continue to do his work. So I think we're doing pretty good, but I appreciate you, asking. And and I was telling her what it's about, and she's like, oh, fishing. I said, honey, it's not. So I said, oh, what's up, Tan Man, my brother? So I said, yes, the show is got to do with fishing, but it's more about dealing with PTSD and ways to cope and stuff like that. So she's like, all right, I'll watch it with you. So I was excited that she was gonna watch it with me. And after that, she said, she was telling me this movie was phenomenal. It was great. It was nothing like I thought. And so I'm like, man, that is super. Man, I was so happy that she enjoyed it. And so, Mending the Line. So what's it about? Okay, the movie is about, and I'll show the trailer once we get I see a few more people popping in. I'll show the trailer real quick, but it's about a Marine wounded in Afghanistan, and he's sent to the VA, a VA facility in Montana, where he meets a Vietnam vet who teaches him how to fly fish. Now, we don't fly fish. There might be some folks that fly fish. Great. Awesome, man. I'm going to tell you, you're going to love the movie. But it doesn't matter. Truly, it does not matter if you fly fish, you catfish, you hunt. They got the what's that? Equa, whatever, the horse therapy. It's all a
Equestrian.
way. Yeah, equestrian. Thank you. It's all a way to help you deal with the emotional and physical trauma of PTSD. And what was great about this movie was it was not only focused on that Marine, but it was also that Vietnam vet.
His
And
family.
then, yeah, and then that young lady who worked in the library, I guess it was, who lost her fiance to I think it was a drunk driver. Hit him. Her fiance was driving on a motor, so she was still dealing with all of that, and it was like 2 years previous. And so it's what I liked about this movie is it also shown us a side of PTSD where a lot of us who deal with the military, we deal with the military side of things. PTSD is PTSD. But it showed us that this civilian, this young lady, was dealing with the same issues and how it all come around and everything they're doing was helping one another. And if you think about what the mission of Operation Vets with Nets is, that's exactly what we're about. And so here, and so we think about in the description of the trailer, like I said, it talks about the emotional and physical traumas, from PTSD. So let's look at real quick, and I'll share this. But so what kind of therapy, emotional, physical, mental stuff can what we do at Operation Vets with Nets, but as well, like what Charlie does. Charlie takes folks out fishing all the time. He don't care what you're fishing for sand bass, you're fishing for gar, you're fishing for blue. You could be friggin' chasing brown trout. It don't matter. It's just about being on the water. So this type fishing, what kind of benefits does it really have? And if you think about this, it encourages independent thinking and behavior in a low risk environment. Hey, Catfish Ed, what's going on, brother? So it encourages independent thinking and behavior in a low risk environment. And that's so key, is that low risk environment. It creates an opportunity to take a break from daily stressors. Some folks, they have very stressful lives due to work, or they may be going through something, with the God forbid, they may be going through a divorce or dealing with a death in the family. It's still stress. What we do also, it gives people a chance to learn a new skill or improve their skills in building confidence. Think about that. When some folks, depending and when you watch the movie, you'll see, this guy was the leader of his squad. And I'm not going to spoil and go into all the details because I'm telling you, you guys got to watch it. But your confidence gets shattered, especially when you lose folks. You lose someone close to you. And fishing helps build that confidence. Catching fish, even if only to release them, creates a sense of accomplishment. So if you're going out there, and I've taken guys out who've never been catfishing before, and we'll get them on a fish. And one person that I took out last year never caught a catfish before, landed, I think, like a 22 or 23 pounder. That literally set their tone for the whole day and from weeks to come, because I've got dude, man, I had such a great time. I can't believe I caught a fish that big. And I mean, And Charlie, I know you've experienced a lot of the same stuff, correct?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yo, and what else? It's great satisfaction can come from catching a beautiful fish to bring home and prepare for your loved ones. I've had folks say, "Hey, if we catch, can I bring them home?" I'm like, matter of fact, I said, if we catch anything between 3 and 15 pounds, I won't keep obviously fillet anything lower than 3 and nothing greater than 15. I said, I'll fillet it right there for you, clean it. As we're trolling, I got one of those Bubba, I think it's called the Bubba. They're battery out. It's I'd say not very expensive, but it's not a cheap fillet knife. Battery operated, it's got a bunch of blades. Man, I just fillet that fish right then and there on the boat. Dip it off in the water, and I tell them, make sure when you get home, clean it with some fresh water. But I dip it all off, clean, throw it into some Ziploc baggies, and throw it in the freezer or throw it on ice. And so I sent one guy home with close to 25 pounds worth of fillets. Just think, especially things are tough at home, financially, you just fed your family, for a couple days. So that's awesome. Therapy fishing is still recreational fishing, typically done in small groups, and offers a chance for people to socialize, laugh, chat, and spend time together in a low-key, casual environment. I think every show we've done, Charlie, correct me if I'm wrong, every show we've done, and this is episode number 8, all the vets said, if we were on fish or we were not, you know what? It was a relaxing time. That, like, if you guys saw last week's show with our Navy guys, man, Tony and all those Dez and all those guys, we had a blast laughing all day long, all day long. And I think every guest we've had on the show has mentioned the same thing. And that's what it's about. It's building that camaraderie and having a good time. It can be an inexpensive activity that doesn't require special access, costly gear, and a membership or major planning. So for us captains, not so much. Gear is expensive. All that stuff's expensive. Time consuming to get bait and do this and that. But that it doesn't matter to us because we're there to provide a service. So yeah, this could be very the only thing that we require is the folks is have your fishing license. That's it. Some states, $12. Some states, like I have a North Carolina license, lifetime membership, lifetime license at no cost because I'm 100% disabled. I still have to put in for my Virginia one, but I'll have that one as well. But so little cost. I've had folks show up, and I don't know, Charlie, if you've experienced this, but have you invited somebody out for fishing and they show up with all their own fishing gear, not really realizing what type of fishing you're going to go out and do?
Yes, it's happened quite often. And it just depends on like how I met or interacted with that person. So I'm all about what they feel comfortable what they are comfortable doing. Now, I've seen people that bring like a pole for like all sorts of different species when we're going catfishing. And then, okay, somewhere down the line, our communication broke down, right? It's like, okay, so we're gonna go fishing for this. But I've gotten a lot better with that. So I plan a lot. Some people say, "Oh, I don't plan for stuff. I kind of just do it on the spur of the moment." But I was in the military 10 years. I've understood that planning is probably the best option, whatever it is, whether it's getting up in the morning and making my bed in the morning, or planning a trip. And I'm a little older. I do forget things. So when I go a certain species fishing, I actually have checklists that I have on my computer, and I print it out. If my bank fishing and boat fishing, because it's different. Make sure you have this.
Yeah. So you provide everything for them.
Yeah, everything. They don't have to bring anything. I have some that bring stuff, but it's like, nope, you don't need to bring anything. Just like Landon, I don't know if Landon's watching right now, but I was supposed to take him out tomorrow. Fortunately, the water's a little bit too high on the Trinity, so we don't want to risk anything going on a smaller boat. But he's like, I can bring all my gear. I'm like, you don't need anything but your license. That's it. No
That's
food, no
it.
drink,
And
no
that's
bait.
exactly it.
anything.
Yep. And that's really key. It's meditative, allowing us the opportunity to practice the art of being in the moment, making fishing and mindful and holistic activity. It's a legitimate form of mild fitness that can take place outside. So there's a double benefit. There's times I've gone out and we're we're moving from one seat to the other, and that's it.
Mhm.
The fishing sucked that day. But then there's times where we're both, 2, 3 people are on rods because we hit a school of them. We found that zone and moving. Man, it's phenomenal. And it boosts self-confidence, teaches problem-solving skills, and promotes clear thinking and enhances social interaction. That truly is what
Mhm.
fishing can do well, I know every bit of that applies to me if I'm going out alone or if I'm guiding a trip. And it does the same thing for the vets. Now, I want people to be interactive today. I don't know if anybody has seen the movie yet. I know Tan Man said he plans on watching it tonight. But if you have questions or put up your comments, especially if you've seen it, you want us to pull you into the show, let us know. I'll send you a link so you can come on in and talk about your experience. But what I want to do is I'm going to show you the trailer.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, the official trailer. Hold on here. Let me, all right. So let me pause it. Hold on. I'm going back a little bit. All right. All right. Present. Let me see. Share screen. Let me see. Screen sharing is easiest with 2 monitors. Okay. Screen share. Mending a legal line. Okay. So Charlie, let me know if you can hear it too. Hold on a minute. Here we go. So let's put this up here like that for now. And
You saw the war
Yes,
now.
sir.
can you,
Don't
Charlie?
trip off the wire. We're all
Yeah,
gonna
we
go
can
home
hear it.
tomorrow. Tour's over. Still Marines, facts.
Where'd everybody go?
Easy! Wait, no.
It's not easy what you've been through. But the important thing now is to heal.
What the hell is this world gonna want from me now?
You ever been fly fishing?
Fly fishing.
I think it could be good for you. Go there.
Ike Fletcher, right?
This is going to be good. It ain't easy. Takes practice. Do your recon. If you want to tap out, be my guest.
You've taken to it pretty hard.
Yeah, I like it.
Got it.
That's a bit of a thing around here.
I've noticed a few things around here.
I know the feeling. I lost my fiance.
So who's the kid?
Some VA sob story.
Then you two should get along great then.
I guess sometimes surviving is your punishment. So I stand in the river, and as the water rushed past me, I knew it was washing my burdens behind me.
You know, I doesn't watch TV, doesn't listen to music. Fishing, that's all he's done.
Does it ever get any easier?
Nope. But this is the place for me. The most important part of fly fishing, humility.
When I was out there on that water, I didn't think about anything else.
You survived. If you're gonna fish, don't do it alone.
Figure out what it is you're willing to live for.
In the book of every soldier's life, the military is a chapter. It's not the whole story. Now that's done. Let's go fishing.
Woo!
That is simply just the trailer alone was phenomenal.
Yep, and
Yo,
there's like 3 different trailers too.
yeah. See, Derek and Don didn't make it through the trailer without getting hit slam in the feels. Absolutely. And it's, and on one of the websites, it asks if this was a true story. And I said, no, it's fictional. You know what? No, it's not fiction. And actually, at the end of the movie, you're going to see he's involved with an organization that does this. Now, there are plenty of organizations out there that do what we do with different species of fish.
Mhm.
And so, there's another trailer going on, and it's
Yeah. So it's not about
and
the fish or the species of fish. It's
No.
about there's a few little lines that stuck out from that trailer. When it says it's not about us. It's you got to mend the line. So for me, so I'll tell like mending the line. So this is an embattled Marine, right? He's a veteran of a war, right? War's horrible. We all know that. So he's had a disconnect with the rest of the world, right? Whether it's his family, friends, or just society, period. So when you see the movie, I'm gonna try not to spoil it, but it's about, Mending the Line just says it all. Like that is kind of a spoiler in itself, because he's looking how can I continue to be important to not just myself but to other people? Like how do I continue to survive? Why do I want to be here? So he's trying to bridge that gap, but he can't do it alone. So when he meets this veteran who's kind of like a
He's a
hard
hard
ass,
ass.
kind of this gruntled Vietnam veteran, right? Who's hard to deal with, but something happens because they both needed each other. Even though the veteran from Vietnam's been around and been dealing with stuff forever, then you got a younger veteran who's kind of going through this stuff for the first time. It just meshes and they start mending that line. And then, as Rich said earlier, there's someone from the library as well who has nothing to do with the military, besides working doing stuff for the hospital there with veterans, right? Because she had lost her boyfriend or fiance 2 years before. But then they start interacting, and then like they needed each other, and they're mending that line. She's mending her line of whatever's going on in her life. He's mending his. The older gentleman who's a veteran, same thing. They have a friend who's one of the tour guides there from the shop that they had. They go fly fishing. I can't remember the name of his character, and he's like a buffer. Like it's kind of boom, boom. And the stuff that he says in the movie is just it's like people need to hear it, even though it's a movie, but you'd be surprised how much this happens in real life. So it's not about the fish, it's not about the gear that they're using, fly fish and all that. When you pay attention to the movie and dig down deep, it's about the relationships that are being built and what needed to occur for those relationships to be built. And it was the water and the patience of learning something that's bringing you back to who you are, to society, back to your family, back to, okay, you know what, man, I lost a lot of people out there, and it just wasn't on my time for whatever reason. And it's okay to feel a little bit guilty of surviving. There's some people that passed away out there, but you're there for a reason. And if you look at it that way, this movie, man,
I'll tell you, and I wondered how they came up with the title, and that mending the line was mentioned once in the movie, and it was when he was out there teaching them. He's going through all this stuff now. The guy's on the water for the first time, and he's out there casting, and he's out there, and he's telling them when he gets there, and they sit down. And they're trying to see where the fish are at. And he's explaining that to them. And then when he threw the fly out, got the line out there, and the way the line was on one side or the other of the fly or whatever, so it wasn't a natural presentation, he said you have to learn to
Mm,
mend the line,
mend the line.
mend the line. And I did not, and so then I saw obviously where the name came from, but as I watched the movie, I started seeing what, yeah, and fly fishing you have to, as he said, mending the line. But as you just said, Charlie, is that we have to start mending our own lines. We have to start putting ourselves in a position where we should be, to be able to function back in society, to be able to have those relationships, and to be able to flourish and to be able to heal. It was, I mean, both my wife and I were virtually in tears during this movie because,
Mhm.
and I think it's important that, that she saw it too, because she sees why I do what I do. She sees what keeps me on the water, on the weekends. She sees when I'm spending money, I'm getting new line, I'm getting more weights, I'm getting different rods, and different reels, because it's the it's our tools of trade. Let me see here. What gas money. Got on the rig, just wanted to stop in. I appreciate you guys and all you've been doing. Hey, brother,
Oh,
I
look.
appreciate it. I appreciate it. And I'm so glad you guys had such a good time with Chris. Late to the party, but made it. Right on there, Juan. So, and I don't know who that is.
That's Lucas Tobar from Dallas, Texas, from Aventuras Pesca Rivera.
Oh,
I
right
did a few
on.
videos with him before. So saludos, Luquitas.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Bienvenidos.
Welcome to the show. So, and it was good that she saw that. And I'm glad she did see that. And she knows I'm doing good. And it's funny is and I think everybody here knows him or have met him or have seen him, but Anthony Brown. Anthony could be a rough around the edges kind of guy. He's got a crazy sense of humor. And I wasn't sure my wife would take to him. So at first, because just some of the stuff that flies out of his mouth it's hilarious. But we were doing an event for a whole weekend, and she got to talk with Anthony, and they're getting to know each other and stuff. And she saw how both Anthony and I, when we were talking to vets, and just how passionate my brother is for what he does. And she said, "This guy is so cool." I said, "Well, I told you." I said, "He's rough around the edges. He's a character. But his heart can't be questioned." And she goes, "I see why you two get along so well." Because she goes, "You're a couple screws loose yourself." I said, "Yeah, I know." I said, "Yeah." In the Navy, we call them I'm a couple skivvies short of a sea bag. So, but the passion that why we do what we do, and and this story really paints the picture for organizations such as ourselves why we do what we do. There's other phenomenal organizations out there. One of them we partner with, and it's the only one I really partner with because I just feel like Charlie, you and we hit it off right off the bat. We had different conversations, and we saw, we thought, and so we clicked, and so there's another organization out there, Catfish for Heroes. Tyler, Tyler and I talked on the phone for the last year and a half or so. Our vision and what we were created for with regards to our organizations is completely in line with each other. And so he's like one of the only other organizations I really work with. And so if there's if there's a vet out there that I have nobody, we have nobody near that vet, and he gets a captain out and does a trip for us, and we do the same thing. A matter of fact, he did. Hey, what's up, Evan? So a couple of weeks ago, he did a trip for us. He had somebody. We didn't have any representation near Clarksville, Tennessee. I think we do now, but we didn't have anybody. Our closest person was like 3 hours away. And so Tyler got somebody out there, and they ran a phenomenal trip. Great time. And now this weekend, we have an opportunity to reciprocate. One of our captains, Chris Gemmel in Texas, is taking out a vet for Catfish for Heroes, and it's a family thing. The one guy, Joshua, asked. He says, "Do you allow kids on the boat?" He said, "Absolutely." Because if anybody knows Chris, he's all about taking Action Jackson out with him. They go fishing all the time. Every time Chris is on the water, his son's with him. And so this guy's bringing his son, a couple other of his family members. And so we're able to reciprocate what Tyler and his organization did for us. And so our goals are the same. And it's all about, again, when you watch the movie and you see, especially at the end as well, you see that the lead character, the Marine, seems to be involved with an organization like ours that focuses on fly fishing. And this movie paints the perfect picture of that, what we call real therapy. I know. So let me ask, because from our audience out there, both in Facebook land and YouTube and all that other, we saw a couple of people said they've seen it. Who else has seen it? Who else has seen the movie? And if you have seen it, what are some of the key points of the movie that really jumped out at you? And if you want to come on, into the show and share that, let me know, and I'll send you the link to join in. But while we're waiting for people to respond, because I know some people have seen it. So how'd you hear about this movie, Charlie? Because it really, you put it out, you started sharing it out, you shared it at the Operation Vets Nets page. And the next thing you know, I see a bunch of other organizations sharing it out as well. And I started sharing it out. So what, going to watch it this weekend? Ed, dude, I'm going to tell you, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. And I may watch it again this weekend. So how did you find out about this, Charlie?
So, for those of y'all that know me pretty close, it's fishing like saved my life. It's something that I need to do. I'm involved in a lot of stuff that I don't really talk about or put out there because it's, fishing to me is an unselfish thing. It's about taking people out there to do their thing, whether they catch a bigger fish than me or small fish. It doesn't matter to us. That's the way that we're wired. Even though there's some out there that, they just want to do this and want to do that, and they'll do extreme measures to make sure that, they're the ones, but we're different. Now, my other love in life is filmmaking. I went to an acting school. I graduated from an acting school, and I learned about film and photography and cinematography. I did a few pretty cool things. I was in Prison Break for a few episodes. I did a Slim Jim commercial with the Edge from the WWE. I was on a billboard in Dallas and Texas for about 6-7 months. I interviewed in front of Nicolas Cage back in the day for Bad Lieutenant. So my background in that keeps me involved in certain things. So I kind of I'll kind of watch movies and stuff, but I'm more of a nature-focused feature drama kind of guy. and then you'll see stuff, whether it's on Netflix or movies that are going to come out. I forgot the name of the app that I have that you can see movies that are about to come out, and that's where I saw it. And then because my favorite movie in the whole world is A River Runs Through It. It's a movie that came out in 1994. It's
Yep.
a
I
fishing
remember
movie.
it.
It's a fishing movie, but it's not. But it's about life, but it's about fishing. You have to watch it. It's got Brad Pitt. I can't remember the other main guys. It's got Henry Thomas, I think. No, that's another fault. But the movie is about fishing, but it shows this family dynamic, where it's a tight knit family, Christian family. The dad's a pastor, and then you have the kids, right? Two boys, and one's older, one's younger. The younger one's a bit of a, he's rough and he does stuff that he's not supposed to, but then fishing brings them together. And then the dad tries to teach him stuff, but he's really rough. And then fishing, the one brother goes off and does his stuff, and then they come back. But it's a really good movie. It ended to me. It's a bit tragic how it ended, but it really resembles what veterans go through. Now, fishing, like I said, can be a very freaking selfish sport or hobby or whatever you want to call it. It's extremely selfish. But when you see movies like this, it kind of brings you down to earth, and hopefully it makes people realize that, you know what, it's not about your name or what you've done or whether you caught this big fish and you have a record and you got a freaking thing hanging in your wall that no one's going to see but you. It's not about that. It's about making those memories and something that you can share and show your daughters and grandkids. Look what happened this other day. Aha. If you're in it for the right reasons, you'll know. And that's how I found out Men in the Line, because Men in the Line is not about it's a Marine. It's not about the Marine. It's not about the veterans network that we have. It's not about the veteran that in that movie. It's about that journey, right? I mean, America's Finest. It's about the journey to real therapy, and that main character needed that, and he couldn't do it alone. He didn't realize it. I'm a tough guy. I'm a Marine. I'm this, but he needed those outside relationships to make that happen.
And just like that Vietnam vet,
Yeah,
when he was going to the doctor and he kept passing out, and she says, "You can't do this alone."
exactly.
Exactly. Twice. I mean, he almost died.
And to me, that's what Men in the Line is like. Yeah, I guess there's a little bit of pun intended because they say men in the line. It's a fishing line. And sometimes we touch our line or lead line. No, it's rough. I got to cut it. So we're kind of mending it and attaching it to a new piece of leader. And it's a metaphor. The movie's a huge metaphor. You can interpret it 1,000 different ways, and it depends on who you are as a person and human being, how you determine how you interpret that. And like I said, the Veteran Administration has great programs out there, but they're not for everybody. There's different organizations out there. There's like a whole bunch here in North Texas that kind of do the same thing that Operations Vets with Nets does, right? Now, we just had a 98-year-old World War II veteran that was on Iwo Jima. He was he didn't raise the flag on the Iwo Jima, but he was just out of frame. I was so honored to meet him and take a picture from him. And he's in an organization that I looked into, but then I was okay. That's kind of not for me. So that's okay. There's tons of organizations out there. So
yes,
whatever feels right for you. And it's almost like the branding, like you got to use this, you got to use that. And you can't come on my boat unless you wear this hat or you have these kind of rods. That's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard. What feels good to you, you use it and you do it. The Operation Vets with Nets might not be for you, and that's fine. It might be the other one that he said earlier, Catfish for Heroes, right? Or it could be, there's so many out there. And so just do what's right for you, what feels right. And if you're genuine and you're looking for the right thing to help people, because there's a lot of captains at Operation Vets with Nets, and it's about helping people. It doesn't matter about trying to get your name out there and trying to be, to grow your social media and all that stuff. If you're doing it for the right reasons, then that's going to pay it forward to you. And that's the main thing, because some of these people, they're not out there trying to catch fish. They don't want to catch a big fish. They need that camaraderie for you to be right there to listen to them, because we don't know what they're going through, and they might have family members or when the family just don't understand them. I
And,
have a lot of that.
and we've had we've had guests on the show talk specifically about that you know
Mhm.
what, it really wasn't about going out and fishing or going out, and catching anything. It was really just to be out in God's creation, that camaraderie, that relaxation, that stress relief. And yeah, if we caught a fish, that was a bonus.
Mhm.
And and so but that always drives me crazy because I'm one that wants to succeed. And to me,
Yeah.
success is, no, we don't have to catch a big fish, but I want to catch some. I want to put them on some kind of fish.
Mhm.
And this one time, and I think I shared this before, but this one lady, um, I gotta tell you, she was a pain in the hind parts. We were doing it her way. We're meeting at her time, this, that, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's gonna drive me crazy. But I had a good time, and she didn't want to. She was driving about an hour and 15 minutes away, and so they got up there the night before with her companion, and she didn't want to get on the water until almost 11 o'clock. I'm thinking best fishing's already over with, but it takes her a while when she gets up, and it takes her a while to get, and she was up there in age. Okay, so we met, and I said, we'll put out, for some catfish, but the prime time of day now, it's going to be tough. And so, but where I knew my perch holes, I said, you know what, we can go, because I had another trip the next day anyway. So, well, I said, do you mind catching some perch? She goes, oh, absolutely not, anything. And so I said, okay, cool. And so I took her a couple of my perch holes, and we got on something, and I was sharing a story with her and telling her, I said, sometimes you'll get 5 or 6, if you're running a sabiki rig, you'll catch 5 or 6 at a time. She, oh no, that's impossible. No, you can't do that. 10 minutes later, she done it 3 times. She, every hook, 6 hooks on that sabiki rig, she was pulling up, because I mean, literally the bait was, I mean, we were in the mix of it all. And she was pulling 5 or 6 up at a time. She's, oh my God, I can't believe this. And so I kept all that, and I was able to throw it into my bait tank for the next day. And it actually, I use it the following weekend as well. Cause I try to keep my bait alive, and I did. And then, and really it was about, also, she wanted to take a little tour around the lake. So I did that, showed her, Lake Gaston. And so that was that. And a couple weeks later, she sent me an email saying that she didn't consider that fishing. She's used to like standing on a boat, maybe like bass fishermen. They're always throwing their line out, this, that, and the other thing. And I said, well, I hope you had a good time. She goes, I did. I don't consider that fishing, because you're just dragging a line behind you. But I said, well, I'm sorry you felt that way, because it is fishing, just a different form of fishing. And so what we do and how we do it is different for others.
Exactly. And it's okay.
And it's okay.
Just like you said, she waited till like 11. I've been out with people looking for bait till like 10, 11. I'm just like, geez, like, okay, like, takes forever, like, just to catch bait to go fishing. But, it's what you make out of it. Like I said, everyone's different. As long as you can understand that, and people understand that, I think it's okay. But a lot of people, unfortunately, in the fishing industry, they don't understand that, right? And I guess it creates tension and, just different. Well, I don't fish that way. I don't do this, and I don't do that, and I don't do this. Well, yeah, everyone does it a little different. That's why when I tell them, okay, you don't have to bring gear unless you want to. So when we get to where we're going, like, look, this is my gear. Here's the bag. Here's all this stuff. How do you want to do it? And I'll let them do whatever they want with the post. It doesn't matter to me. And like, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. but it's about that, and it's about that journey. Even if the journey's a bit rocky or kind of up and down, that's what it's about. And
And
everyone's
you
different.
saw
We're all
in
unique.
that movie, that
Yeah,
journey wasn't a smooth journey.
not at all.
Every one of them battled their demons
Mhm.
throughout the movie. Um, and you saw, for instance, the Marine when he first went and met the old Vietnam vet. He said to him, he smelt him because he was hitting the bottle, and he smelled. He said, "You've been drinking?" He said, "Yes, sir." He closed the door in his face.
Yep.
The guy ended up coming back the next day. And so that journey, you're gonna have those ripples. And that movie, the movie, it was a touchy-feely kind of movie, but it was more realistic to the point of, as you are going through your journey to try to heal, there's bumps in road, there's bumps and curves in that journey that you learn from. And these obstacles, you learn from them. You learn how to get over those hurdles.
Mhm.
And every character there went through that, and they showed that. And I thought that was, really cool that they did show that. That they showed nothing was like nothing was a smooth journey. You know, and you saw the battles that they were going through and dealing with, and how when they were dealing with some things and they didn't deal with it well, and then later on in the movie they start dealing with it differently. They start mending that line and cutting away some of that frayed line, as we're talking about, you know, and putting something fresh on there, and you start seeing that things start to move in a positive
Yep.
positive direction. It was, I mean,
No, absolutely true. Sometimes you got to cut ties with stuff that you're uncomfortable with. Mending the line, like I said, the leader. You got to cut it, retie it to whether it's your jig, it's your fly, and it's okay. It happens. And that Marine in that movie, he had to cut ties. He had to cut ties with that war. And I'm trying not to spoil it, but he had to cut ties from this haunting image that he kept having in dreams. And he kept seeing it over and over and over. And he had to somehow cut those ties. And it's okay. And he finally did. He needed help, which was from that Vietnam veteran, but he did that. And he moved on. And, he's above ground. And that was one of the main points of this
yes.
movie, because he was on a downward trajectory, and knowing that he needed to cut that line and move on and just build new relationships and move on. I think that was the key. And that pertains to all of us in everyday life.
And I'll tell you what I didn't see. I did see happening, but then it took it for a turn, and then at the end, near the end, it come to fruition. But like with the old guy and his family, his son and his
Mhm.
grandkids,
Yep.
that had me in tears. And so, but Chris, one of our captains with Operation Best Nets, he says it's right here. Even through the events we've been through, are a chapter in our book of life. What we experience is still a part of that book.
Mhm.
Absolutely, Chris, you hit it spot on. It is a chapter in our
Mhm.
book, and what we go through during that chapter and how we deal with that chapter sets us up for the sequencing chapters. Like me, when I went through my first divorce and with my kids, I wasn't the role model father. I was focused on my new girlfriend afterwards and building that relationship, and I wasn't giving my kids the time that I was supposed to. And I will, and it took me years. Now, my kids never went without needing, or maybe they did. They needed their dad, and I wasn't always there. I put my needs honestly ahead of theirs at times. And it took years, and my kids to finally sit there and tell me, listen, you need to make some changes in life, or you're just not going to have us as part of your life. And when I was retiring, and my kids invited me to church, their mom started taking them to a Baptist church. And I heard my kids, when my ex-wife said, hey, once you retire and you come up from Key West, come back up to Virginia, we'd like you to join us in church. And I was like, church? I've done tons of Catholic, because I was raised a Roman Catholic. And she says, no, it's this, that. And I got very defensive. I was like, this, that, and the other thing. But I hear my kids in the background saying, daddy needs to find Jesus, because if not, he's going to go to hell. Well, for youngins to tell me that tugged at my heartstrings. And so that shortly after that's when my journey with Christ started. But it took years and years, over 10 years, for me to finally start mending that relationship with my kids. Now it is so solid. And, and with my grandchildren, I just love it. And me and my son, we talk every couple of days. He's stationed in Rota, Spain, on a ship out there. So, but I stay close to my kids now. They're the most important things in my life. And as Chris said, those chapters that I went through in my life, I learned from them. And I know we've all in our book of life, we've got these chapters that are just awesome, but we got some very dark chapters as well.
Mm-hmm.
How we move through those. And I think this movie really, really depicts that. How each person moved through that chapter. They learned from it. And they started to move on. And I think that chapter, I think as we close a chapter and we move on to the next chapter,
mm-hmm.
we always, at least for me, I can't say we, as I can speak for myself, is there's times I have to reflect back on some of those older chapters to remember where I came from or what I've learned, especially if I get into a rut, what helped me through these dark times. And I think what we do as an organization and as, as like what you do at River Chronicles is
mm-hmm.
that we could help orchestrate, even if it's in a small way, a new chapter in somebody's life.
That's exactly what happens. And I see Landon there. What's up, Landon? Sorry about tomorrow, but I got some plans, my brother. You'll be surprised. I got something special for you.
So I think, and the movie, as I said, even though they say it's a fictional movie, I think that movie is one of the most realistic movies.
Mm-hmm.
Now I am 100% disabled. I think I have some aspects of PTSD, but not from the military. But from a previous relationship, and it really, sometimes I react in certain ways because of that. And my wife would kind of like, hey, you don't have to react that way. And hey, just because it happened then, it's not going to happen now that we're, and so I still deal with that. So, but I think for those folks that do deal with severe PTSD, I think number one, I think that movie, if somebody's going through that, I think that movie will really open up their eyes to what could be out there to help them. And I see we've got, and I'm looking to hear you're taking out Landon, and I'd like to once your trip is over with, I'd like to have you two as guests, hear about his journey.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, I was supposed to take them out tomorrow, but the Trinity River, the Trinity River in Texas, it's treacherous. We went out last weekend and it wasn't scary or dangerous, nothing like that, but it was a bit rough. And then I had a minor with me, so I had to be very careful. And we had a blast. We caught this massive soft-shell turtle and 2 gar. We didn't catch the gar. My buddy did. He was on a boat, but I just needed to make sure that I'm with the minor on the bank, and he's a teenager. But we had a blast. I did post one of clips him setting the hook on my Facebook. It was freaking awesome. But that's what it's about. I'm so busy, you have no idea. But yeah, Landon, I'll make it up to you. We got some plan. I already talked to some people. We'll make it good.
And we definitely want to hear about that story as well. And so we got about 3.5 minutes left, man. That hour went by quick.
You ain't lying. I'm just like, wow, because we even thought about cutting it short, but it's like, wow.
Yeah.
An hour already.
And I got to tell you guys, if you know a vet or anybody, let them watch the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Let them watch the movie, or tell them, hey, watch my. Man, I would love to be able to rent a theater out if I had the money and invite every vet out there and show it.
You know that you can, right? We did that for my niece not too long ago, and we watched Avatar.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I don't think I can afford
all.
that right now. We just
it's not that bad. It was only like $100.
Oh, that's it? $100
for 30 people. Yeah, I mean, the whole theater. It was AMC here in Texas.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I might have to plan something like that. See if I can see what they would charge me here for like 50 people. And if they can get a hold of that reel, because it's on Netflix. So I don't know how you can do that. But I would love to just invite vets out for a free showing of that. And you never know what kind of impact that'll have. I know I was majorly impacted by that movie, and it just showed me that following where the Lord's led me, to be part of such an organization to do what we do, I'm on the right path.
Definitely.
So anybody have anything else they want to, because you guys have been kind of quiet. I like to see people get engaged, or I think it's just a conversation between me and Charlie.
You're probably watching the movie. That's why no one's asking anything.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Movie. So guys, we got about 2 minutes left. Again, thanks for joining us. For those that were able to come on, both in Facebook land and on StreamYard, as well as YouTube. I highly encourage, share this movie out, let folks know about it. Charlie's been posting it. I've been posting it. I think there's a lot of vets that really could benefit from seeing this movie. Hey, Ed, thank you, brother. And by the way, I'm working on getting that other stuff together so I can get it out to you and Tom and a few other people. But you end up probably within the next month or month and a half some of my captains that are very active. You might see a little surprise showing up. But I appreciate everybody. If you did one trip, you did 10 trips, or you're just standing by waiting to do a trip, I appreciate everybody. I know this organization wouldn't be what it is today if it wasn't for all our captains, our supporters, our volunteers. My brother Charlie over there, he's always promoting us, and and it's a blessing that we can do this show every week. And
so go to Operation Vessel with Nets and sign up, donate. You don't have to sign up to be a captain if you don't want to, but any support is greatly appreciated.
And go to River Chronicles. Go to River Chronicles. As a matter of fact, and I know Charlie doesn't like to make it about him. None of us do. But and he doesn't do this for any reason that he enjoys it. But still, Charlie puts a lot of work into his videos and a lot of time. Go over, and I believe that's a YouTube channel, right, Charlie?
Yeah, it's been getting a lot of traction lately. I don't know why, but I'm doing something right. We're doing something right. It's getting a lot of traction. So
go to River Chronicles, subscribe, watch Charlie's videos, and just enjoy, because he puts out a lot of good stuff. I know when I'm sitting around and I'm doing work and I just got computers doing whatever, I'll throw on YouTube and I'll go and I'll throw one of Charlie's videos on and be working, and then I'll go to somebody else, and then I'll go back to Charlie's. And so
thank you. I
awesome,
appreciate
guys.
That.
Oh, absolutely.
I appreciate that.
Well, it's that
time.
That time has come. Thank you guys for coming out and checking us out. Go watch Mending the Line on Netflix.
You won't regret it.
You will not regret it.
It's free.
If your heartstrings ain't tugged after that, then we definitely gonna have to talk, because you got something loose up here. No, I'm kidding. You guys will love it.
Don't we all?
Yeah, we do. So, all right, guys, you have a blessed evening. Don't know who our guests are going to be for next week. I'm bad at scheduling. I usually schedule at the last minute, and I really need to do a month at a time. And I've run so many trips, I don't want to have to be the guest captain every week. Thanks, Juan. I appreciate your brother out there running our show out in Texas. All right, guys, you have a blessed evening. We'll talk to you later.
Love you guys. Be safe. See you on the water.